What's up, YouTube? Hefe coming to you, Captain Awesome's Fish Room. It's Tuesday, so it's Tuesday tidbit time. This is going to be a pretty lengthy video. I'm going to go over how I do water changes, how I think they can be more efficient, and stuff like this. So this is just a little introduction to the, the main video. I'm going to show y'all my setup, how I move along to each tank and blah, 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 blah. So here we go. I have a 100-foot hose that runs to a spigot on the side of my garage out there. Comes in and through my front door. I'll show that to you. Comes in through the front door there. I lock it with a little child block there. And then I run it into my fish room. And what I do to keep it from running and keep that nozzle at the way that I want the water to go in the tank is I just use one of those clips to clamp it up. And then, to take water out of the tanks, I have, of course, my gravel vac. This is nothing new, people. But I have my gravel vac, and what I did, because the hose wasn't long enough, I got some hose that fit that, or that was an inside diameter of the outside diameter of this hose, because, I wanted it to fit in there and not lose any flow, I guess you could say. So I jammed that on there and it works great. So a little tidbit there, it just makes it long enough to where I can do water change on any tank in here and it goes out the window. So I don't have to haul buckets of water out or anything like that. So what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start doing water changes, and I'll show y'all the progression and some things throughout there. So we'll be right back. Alright guys, we're back. I actually decided to keep the algae scrubber up there. I just did a different pre-filter on the pump so it wouldn't get clogged as much. But here's what we got going on, guys. What I like to do during water changes makes it go a lot faster. Is what I'll do is I'll drain 3 tanks, and then I'll start on one, and then while I start on this one here, I'll start filling up this one and then go to this one, and then by the time I'm done with this one, I'll do this one, and then so on. So it's kind of like a little assembly line type deal. And I kind of wanted to touch base on why water changes are important, and why I do such large water changes. A lot of people think that when fish excrete urine or feces, that's where the ammonia comes from. Now sure, fish feces, when it starts breaking down, among other things, it does create ammonia. Now fish, when they urinate almost pure water, guys. Now the way a fish works is whenever they eat, they metabolize things differently than we do. How they excrete ammonia that builds up inside their system is through their gills, okay? Whenever they digest a protein or, stuff like that, their body breaks it down into, usable things, and then how that compound of ammonia and other nitrogenous stuff, how that's excreted is through the fish's gills, okay? Most of the ammonia that builds up inside of a system isn't because, the fish is pooping and peeing in the water. Like I said, when a fish poops, when that feces starts breaking down, yes, that will create ammonia among other things. But the main source of ammonia in your system is from fish excreting it through their gills, okay? That's where the ammonia in your system comes from. And then by doing your water changes, of course your biological filter is going to break that down into nitrites, and then from nitrites into nitrates. And a lot of people think that when you're doing a water change, you're simply just, kind of diluting the nitrates in the system per se. You know, that's not the only thing that you're taking out, guys. And then a lot of people say, well, you know, I let it evaporate so far and then I top it off. That's my water change. No, that's not a water change, guys. When water evaporates, that is pure water evaporating from your tank. Pure water. I mean, all the dissolved organics, all the particulate matter inside the water, that's not being evaporated. Okay, it's pure water being evaporated there. So by doing your water changes, you're taking the dissolved organics out of the water. You're taking that particulate matter out of the water. You know, you're taking pheromones from the fish that they produce out of the water. There's so many things you're taking out of the water and replacing it with fresh, clean water. That's why water changes are important, and that's why topping off your system doesn't constitute a water change, okay? And, you know, that's kind of a little tidbit of information for you there. I'm going to continue doing this one, and then I'll show you how I start filling them up and start on the next. Alright, we'll be right back. Next little tidbit of information, guys. On these smaller tanks, when you kind of get into the smaller crevice and this long tube is just too much, what you can actually do is, I'm trying to do it with one hand, you can take that longer tube off, and then you have this, and you know, what you do is you start the siphon the same way, but then you can get, you know, around a little bit better, and it's not as clumsy with that longer tube going around inside a smaller tank. Alright, on to the next step. Alright guys, so this is the part where I start filling up and then start on the next tank as well. What we're using is a water conditioner is by Chem Safe. You don't need much of this stuff. A little bit goes a long way. It's super concentrated, so just sprinkle some of that in there. Make sure we get that nice and good. There we go. And then I'll take my hose. Here, let me see if I can show y'all and still. Yeah, there we go. Take the clamp off. Bring the clamp with you. And guys, you have to pay attention when you're doing this, because if you don't, you'll overflow your tank pretty quick. So then we just start it, and we're actually just like that. And that's the reason I like keeping my hose a certain way, because I can adjust it to make it fan out like that. You see? See how it fans out, doesn't disturb anything, it just fills up. So now I'll go up here and I'll start doing the gravel vac on this tank while that one's filling up, and then by the time I'm done with that one, it'll be time to fill that one, and then I'll start over here on Big Rig's tank, and then it'll just be time to fill that one. So you see, I mean, just a way to save you time. Alright, we'll be right back, guys. Another tidbit of information. You see how I have it running outside here. This is kind of a bonus little tidbit, but it waters my flower bed. Now, if you're growing, now guys, it's winter, that's why those look dead, but you know, if you have a vegetable garden or something like that, you can run a line to that to water it. I mean, aquarium water, used aquarium water, is very nutrient rich for plants, so it's another tidbit of information. You know, in the summertime I can grow anything out here and it's just beautiful. But yeah, so we'll be back. Alright guys, that does it for Tidbit Tuesday. Hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all you know, learn a few ways to do water changes, and you know, learn a couple reasons why you should do water changes. You know, as I said, the built up nitrates, and then, you know, you have phosphates, and, you know, everything else. And, you know, water changes can cut down on your algae, and, you know, cut down on the waste in the tank, the dissolved organics, the particulate matter, all inside the gravel. And, you know, it also stirs up the gravel, aerating it more. So, you know, like with these thick spots right here, a lot of your bacteria can die at the bottom because it's not getting enough oxygen. So stirring your gravel up and stuff, I mean, it's just all around the healthiest thing you can do for your tank. So with that said, guys, this is what I'm doing. This is what I've done. Rate, comment, subscribe. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and we'll see y'all next time. Adios, folks.